Hi, my name is Robin. I'm actually an entrepreneur. I have several companies and I do a lot of things. So whenever you look at relief, when a disaster happens, what actually happens is you find that people are suffering, and then you listen to things like, oh, the Red Cross isn't doing things right, and then people start complaining. So instead of joining them in complaining, can you actually take action and actually go ahead and help? So what happens during disaster strike is actually an unfortunate twist of fate. So what happens afterwards is our responsibility. So when the disaster strikes, some people are given the burden of enduring the disaster and conditions that follow. And some people are given the gift of being spared from the disaster. So how can we not use our gift to lift the burden of others? So whenever you listen to like the traditional relief organizations, they'll tell you things like, or this lie that only experts can help. If you're not good, or if you can't contribute, you're actually being a liability. You bring burden to the field. We don't need anything, but just give us money. Or don't send clothes, don't send food. And if you're actually there on the field, you find that most of these claims that they give you are lies. So we all can respond and guarantee an efficient response. Donate actions, not money, not words. But how? So during this disaster response basics, you can be useful in the field if you can bring your own supplies and food to the field or buy them locally. You can engage local stakeholders and work with them and work for them. If you're connected on Facebook, on Twitter with other people, and you have independent mobility. And what is Relief 2.0? Relief 2.0 is actually focused on running the last mile of disaster relief through independent units and local stakeholders and foreign volunteers in the field, supported by mobile technologies and social networks to fill the gaps created by bureaucracy and top-down bureaucracy. So in Relief 2.0, when I actually traveled to Japan and I was in Haiti, I was in Katrina, what happens is I realized that initially there was like a very short plan of when I was Katrina to help. It was just, what can I do there? Maybe as a person that understands logistics, I can help in organizing things. So everyone has their own little skills that they can contribute in some way. Whether I've seen musicians that go down to a shelter and sing a song, and it uplifts everyone's effort. Are you telling me that a musician is useless in disaster relief when it's making everyone happy? Everybody has your own skill and your own things you can do that you could benefit a lot of different people in your own way. And I feel that when I go down the field, what happens when I'm there is not really helping everybody a lot, but it actually helps me, because when you help someone, you feel good inside. And these people have their lives to live. I mean, when an earthquake or tsunami happens, they lose their homes. But if you can be there for just one day, you can help them to be happier for one more day. I think that's at least the most little things that you can do and can make a difference. So what is Relief 2.0? Relief 2.0 is just basically individuals and organizations that report incidents and requests from the field, and we're actually using mobile technology and our phones and internet. And using things like doing.gd, these incidents are reviewed, reported, verified, and enhanced and we spread this to information to other people on the field. So other volunteers that we meet. If we spot some tools that are useful to us or some good information, we share it with them. So everybody can know about what's going on and get the best information. And even though some people are not on the field, We have friends that are monitoring what's going on the radiation, or if there's anything else happening. So we get first-hand knowledge. As long as we're connected, we can be connected via SMS, and we can be connected via Facebook and Twitter. In a lot of countries that we go to, there's a 3G, so you can actually have a 3G phone and enable that you can get latest information, or at least SMS. For every place that I've been, even hours after, let's say, an earthquake or a typhoon, the SMS network is always up. You may have a phone network that is down, but you can still send text messages out. I've sent messages to my friend after the earthquake was in Japan, and it didn't respond till like 3 or 4 hours later, but SMS came through. So his phone still has battery, after 3 or 4 hours after the earthquake. But he just say, no, it's fine. Just we had a blackout, and everything here is fine. And so it's always through context and through modern technology, we can actually be informed of what's going on. And even though if you're not in the field helping, you can basically help out. If your friends are in the field, or you can just share information on what's going on as well. So individuals and organizations on the field, basically, we find that large organizations like Red Cross, Global Giving, they have a lot of things to do, and they have a lot of things to report to. So they cannot just use funds in any way. So most of the time, because of their top-down bureaucracy, a lot of things do not get done. However, individuals, you don't have to report to anyone because you're responsible for yourself. So if I was there and I realized that a shelter needs insulin because they ran out of insulin, and if this shelter was to go the traditional way of telling the government that we ran out of insulin, the government will put in an order, the next order will be shipped over in maybe 2 to 6 weeks. And if we put a request to Red Cross or other relief agencies, they will review it, they will have a meeting, then they'll decide on how much relief is going to be sent. It will send on the next shipment, which may come 2 to 6 weeks. But some of this medicine that you need or food is really essential that 2 to 6 weeks isn't really something that will solve the problem. And you might realize that, hey, it's actually 2 hours away. I can drive there and bring it over. So why don't I do it? Or why can't you send it over? And then they will just say, our budget is used for this area. We can't use our budget on transport. So what you could do as individuals is you could go down and bring this aid from this village to another village. So for me, it's like, yeah, wow, sure, I'll do it. And I realized that this isn't really that easy. When I arrived at, driving 2 hours away, getting the insulin, they said, oh, each person can sign up 4 bottles of insulin. Like, this is for the next, it's a hospital, it's got, I need 50 boxes, I can just bring 4 bottles up. And then I say, no, you have rules, so you can bring 4 bottles. Each signature allows you to check out 4 bottles. So, as individuals, you just need to think out of the box, and you need to defeat bureaucracy. So a good way of doing it is just going on the streets and going to ask people on the street, because there's a shelter next door. We just told them what's going on. Can you come in and sign? And we got like 200 volunteers signing, and we got our 50 boxes out the door. So it's as simple as that. And sometimes the bureaucracy, I don't understand why it is necessary, but I think in terms of being accountable for the large amounts of money that they raise in short periods of time, these organizations are very important, and they need measures to make sure that they are accountable for other people, for things that they are doing. And it creates a lot of paperwork and bureaucracy, but it is necessary. So the other way of helping out and filling the gaps is for individuals to actually go on the field, and whenever you see something happen that is not being solved because of the bureaucracy of governments or top-down organizations, as individuals, you can always fill in the gaps and make things happen. So a lot of people will ask me, what kind of things can you do that you think could make a difference? I'll say, a lot of small little tasks can make a difference. I was with Carlos, and we did tasks like sorting clothes. When you have a big pile of clothes that people donate, it's like a mountain, 3 meters high, like 5 meter diameter base, and no one actually wants to sort through the clothes, even though you can see naked kids running around because they have one change of clothes and when they escape from the tsunami. But they still will not search through a pile of clothes just for something that they need because it is either the wrong size or wrong thing that they need. So, and from experience, we know that if we just there's a lot of people there, why not use local, like people living in shelters to help us in this task? So I bring along a bag of candy, and I just go there and tell the kids, can you help me in sorting clothes? Initially, they're like, I don't know, I must be my plane. And say, if you help me sort clothes, the person that sorts the clothes fastest will get a bag of candy. And immediately, I got like a group of 3 kids. I give them each a pile of clothes, and they sorted according to jackets, shirts, pants, ladies, men's, and size. So at the end of the day, when everything is sorted, we realize that the adults that come back after helping with the relief efforts of cleaning up the streets, they actually will go down and search through the pile, because now when everything is sorted out properly, you can actually go to a pile, just like if you go to a thrift shop and you're trying to search through a discount place, a store, and when the clothes are all in a large pile, you will not want to search through a pile to get something that you want. But if everything is neatly placed, it's easily accessible. You can just go there and grab what you need and leave. So it's actually just little information that we learn from past experience, and things like sorting clothes is very important, because otherwise a lot of aid will go there and people will not use it because it's not as accessible as we think. So running the last mile using small independent units complete the cycle and addressing the issues that delivering the response required is supported by social network. So whenever we need something, we would just go and update it on Facebook. And on Facebook, you will find that people from other places may experience similar get information. So when we sort clothes, we can actually just have this data of, after today, we have this amount of women size 6, 7, and we get this information out on a note on our Facebook. And people from another shelter will say, we need actually women's bottoms. We ran out of pants and for the shelter, can you bring them over? So by just using your own social network and by communicating with volunteers on the ground, and you can actually organize things like, if you're traveling over to the other shelter, can you bring along these clothes that are sorted? They need pants there. So if you need information and you have everything sorted properly, things can get done a lot faster and information can flow a lot faster. So this is how I think it's kind of small. It's the basic Relief 2.0 ecosystem. This information will be available on the TEDxHayward site. So next thing is Relief Enterprise. So this is beyond the disaster response. So we know that people respond to calls for help, but why are we feeling so bad? So is helping really any help? So not really, or at least not in the way that we're doing it. Because often when we help, we make life decisions for the people that we're helping. Often when we help, we fail to see the whole picture and feel content to help. And we search for an approach that's most efficient to us and not to those that we are trying to help. And we sometimes destroy the same environment that we're trying to help. We displace local capacity. We measure our success by the delivery of help or completion of an action than the actual impact. So then what can we do? So never help. Enable, engage, empower, and connect. So when disaster strikes, you find that the physical infrastructure is destroyed, like for an earthquake, but the social infrastructure still remains. People's capacity is untouched. So what happens to be random and chaos? There's actually order and structure. There are people like you and me, and they are willing and able. So who are these people who survive? These survivors, disaster creates survivors, and they don't create refugees. And in the conventional and relief system, they actually turn survivors into refugees. And disasters do not destroy knowledge or capacity. Teachers are still teachers, engineers are still engineers, doctors are still doctors. And this actually happened when I talked to my friend Carlos, who was in Haiti for a long time. He says, there is actually a group of nurses from Vermont that flies down and is actually helping with the local, there's actually a lot of NGOs that set up hospitals. And what I found out is the local hospital closed down because all this foreign help that came to the area provide free medical service. So the local hospitals that are charging people can't compete with free. So in the end, everybody just decides to just seek free treatment. And when the local hospitals have to close down, doctors do not have a job. They in turn go to the shelters. So we are creating so much more refugees than actually when they have employment and they actually earning money for themselves. And when you look at people going overseas to build houses for others like this, isn't there local builders or architects or construction workers that could do the job better and more efficiently since they're already there? And if you donate just part of your airfare, I'm sure the work that they do would be equivalent or maybe even better than you flying there and doing it on your own, because there are still people around that could do the work instead of going down there yourself. So sometimes you just need to think, is it more efficient to engage the locals and use them? Because sometimes it's just going there, understanding who's on the ground and what their capacities are. So when you're trying to get help or getting information, you be the one that you connect the people that need help to those people that can provide help. And if they need funds, then you can be the one that's not in the country but can be outside using funds for them. So you are the enabler and not really going there to do the work yourself.